Minecraft's current game bosses are the Wither and Ender Dragon, which make the game feel like there is something to strive for. But it didn't used to be like this. There even was a time in Minecraft's history where no real bosses existed. But how the development got to creating the Ender Dragon and Wither is actually really interesting. And you probably didn't even know about the Red Dragon that was supposed to be an Overworld boss. This is the story of all Minecraft bosses that ever existed. It all started with Notch releasing Minecraft Classic back in 2009. The moment you opened the game, you had to choose what you wanted to do. There was no goal other than exploring and building. Notch even said it himself, free building mode is fine and dandy, but for many people it will ultimately become boring once you got it figured out. It's like playing a first person shooter in God mode, or giving yourself infinite funds in a strategy game. A lack of challenge kills the fun. But Notch had a goal. He wanted to implement realistic mode into the game, with food and water bars. In a blog post by Notch titled My Vision for Survival, he said, "While it could be fun just to see how long you can survive in survival mode, I believe there might need to be some kind of a goal. Make the most money in a month, kill a big evil mob in the shortest time, I don't know yet." I think it's pretty funny to point out that when the skeletons could spawn on top of spiders, people were really scared of them. But if they just could have known what was coming. In January of 2010, a new map type called floating was added. It was a map full of floating land with regular blocks. Falling off of these islands was a guaranteed death. But this map type was later removed. In the year 2010 Minecon interview with Notch, he hinted at dragons as a possible mob for Minecraft. Almost after a year, in May 2011, Notch tweeted out many pictures of the new sky dimension he was working on, but there were still no updates about the dragon. Then in September of 2011, we got an interview where Notch was asked about the dragons.
There will be dragons, eventually, once we figure out how to do them.
So this meant they are coming, which got the community excited. Just like I'm excited to tell you about our sponsor Monster Legends, a free-to-play game on both iOS and Android. In Monster Legends you can build up the whole world, collect and breed monsters, collect food, gold, and finally have a whole monster empire. Challenge your friends or other monster masters in battles. There are hundreds of different monsters to collect and new ones are coming out every week. There is also a YouTuber's Island where you can find some of the biggest YouTubers monsters, choose your favorites and put them up to the test. Downloading Monster Legends right now will get you a free starter pack of 50,000 food, 300,000 gold, 10 gems and the epic monster Kaori. Use the link below or scan the QR code to get started right now in Monster Legends. You don't wanna miss out getting the head start with the starter pack. Thanks again to Monster Legends for sponsoring this episode. In October of 2011, Notch put out a tweet where he seemingly just smashed some random letters on his keyboard, but the community knew that there was a hidden message somewhere in this. When decrypting this tweet using ROT13, you can read out Ender Dragon. This was posted on Minecraft's Reddit, and below it one of the top replies suggested, perhaps the new dimension will be called Ender, and will be home to the mysterious Endermen and deadly Ender Dragons. To which Notch replied, he is 100% correct. Later Notch clarified that there will be just one dragon in the end. After some time, Notch tweeted out the first pictures of the dragon he was working on. As you can see, it has no texture, just a plain dragon model. There was a lot of tweaks and modifications made to make it look better, and we got a lot of tweets and updates about it. And then we got the video of the dragon flying in the end. You probably can't even see anything, but with increased brightness you can see the dragon flying in the corner. Jeb had also stated in the past that you won't be able to ride with the dragons, since this would put too much pressure on the multiplayer servers. Unless you're playing on the newest April Fool's version of Minecraft, the one block at a time update, in that you can actually grab onto the dragon and even control him. But that was just an April Fool's update, unfortunately. But did you know why the Ender Dragon can go through objects with his wall hack and even break them? They could have made him like any other mob that avoids hitting into stuff, but when they tested it, it awkwardly turned around and changed direction. The players could then build walls to get the dragon stuck, to which Notch said, We don't want too many easy ways to deal with it, so we had a short design meeting and decided to make it cheat. I think it was an overall good decision. Dragon gets wallhack and we get a harder boss battle. But this wasn't supposed to be the only dragon in the game. In a Reddit post Notch shared about the dragons, the Ender Dragon will probably become larger, and the ones in the main world will be this size, won't go through the rain, and will be red because dragons are red. So clearly there was an idea to add a red dragon in the game. Even in 2012, the Minecraft developer Jeb did a Q&A on Reddit where he said, "Well, since Notch more or less promised red dragons, I think I need to add them. I'm just not sure how yet." But in 2013, Dinnerbone tweeted, "It was never promised, we have no plans to add a red dragon this time." But then again in a Reddit Q&A, Dinnerbone said, "I'm sure one day there will be, not right now though." So a lot of back and forth ideas, but since now it is 2022 and there are still no extra dragons, I think we can all agree that the Ender Dragon will probably be the only dragon to exist in the game. And then the Minecraft Java Edition 1.0.0 was released, the first full version of the game after over 2.5 years of development. With this, the end portals were added that led you to the end. And here is the long awaited boss, the Ender Dragon. Beating this would give you access to the overworld, but also a rare dragon egg and 20,000 XP points, which gets you from level 0 to 86, although this XP was later lowered. But during this time you could only kill the Ender Dragon once, there was no way to respawn it after you killed it. In 2017 a blog post was published about the Minecraft block Endstone. In this post we can actually learn a secret why the sky dimension got renamed to the end. It didn't work so well because how light is calculated. The sky dimension originally had this top down light that the overworld has, so you get like shadows in the caves and such. But performance wise it didn't work, it was extremely slow. So we removed the sun and now everything is evenly lit unless you got a torch. A clear example of working smart, not hard. I think the result is still amazing and it gives a unique look to the end with its even lighting. In version 1.9 they added an update where you can respawn the Ender Dragon to unlock the end gateway portals. This gave you access to the outer end islands. The Ender Dragon might be the only official boss in Minecraft, but a lot of people agree that there is more, and that would be the Wither. It all started when the Wither was added into the game code, although there was no official way to spawn it and it didn't appear anywhere in the game. Later at the 2012 PAX event, Mojang announced something pretty interesting.
There's no specific location that you spawn it, but there's a task to spawn it.
They also revealed that the task is to place 3 mob heads in a certain way.
The idea is you'd put these together in a certain special way, kind of like a ritual, and then you get punished for it.
In Minecraft version 1.4.2, the Wither was officially added into the game. Also in that version, they added the ability for Wither skeletons to drop Wither skeleton skulls. Now you need to collect 3 of those, place them on soul sand and the Wither would spawn. At first the Wither's health starts charging up and then it does a huge explosion. The explosion is actually the most powerful explosion in the game. After that comes the End Crystal and Charged Creeper. But in Bedrock Edition, the Wither explosion is even more powerful than the Java Edition Wither. But we haven't talked about the most important part. Why does the Wither even exist? It's almost like a boss mob, so there has to be a reward for this. The whole idea with the Wither came because Minecraft wanted to add beacons into the game, but with a challenge to get them, since they unlock some pretty powerful features. So Jeb actually got inspired by Terraria, which also has a way you can summon mobs. And when the Wither is killed, you get a nether star, which can then be crafted into a beacon and you can unlock all of the great effects. What makes the Wither even cooler is the many places it appears in the game, where you can basically see the crafting recipe on how to make the Wither. And it also is on the red polished sandstone, which is pretty cool. But I have an important question. Do you think the current game bosses Ender Dragon and Wither are hard enough to kill? And is the reward that they give you worth it? But I'll see you guys in the comments below. Also don't forget to check out Monster Legends to get their free starter pack. Thanks for watching, see ya!